A controversial new law in South Carolina has now been hit with a legal challenge in federal court. Transgender South Carolinians are suing over the so-called Help Not Harm Act, which has significant implications on gender-affirming care for both adults and minors. State House reporter Mary Green has details.
Governor Henry McMaster signed this bill into law in late May. 3 months later, a group of South Carolinians is now asking a court to strike down some of its main provisions.
It has definitely been something that has just been this looming cloud, if you will, over the last 3 months.
This lawsuit was filed late Thursday in federal court by 3 transgender South Carolina adults and 2 families of transgender teens. In it, they say the state law has had and will continue to have devastating consequences for transgender individuals and their families in South Carolina, and claim it violates various federal laws. Greg Green isn't among the plaintiffs and says he hasn't been impacted yet, but expects that could happen.
Now having to figure out how am I going to maintain the medically necessary things that I need is very scary.
I'm a transgender man myself, and I haven't lost care, but I wake up every morning worried about it.
Jace Woodrum is the state director of the ACLU of South Carolina, which is representing the plaintiffs. They're asking the court to block 3 key provisions in the law: a ban on minors from undergoing gender transition procedures, including surgeries, puberty blockers, and hormone therapy; a prohibition on Medicaid from covering these procedures for anyone, minors and adults; and a ban on state dollars directly or indirectly going toward these procedures. Because of the latter, the state-funded Medical University of South Carolina announced earlier this summer it would no longer provide gender-affirming care to patients of all ages. In total, the ACLU estimates around 800 transgender South Carolinians have lost or will lose access to care.
On the one hand, 800 people is not insignificant. On the other hand, we have a fairly small population that lawmakers are picking on with this mean-spirited, unconstitutional political attack.
MUSC is among the defendants named in the lawsuit, as is Attorney General Alan Wilson. The Attorney General's office says it doesn't comment on pending litigation, but, quote, will vigorously defend the state's laws. Governor Henry McMaster defended the law he signed this year in a statement, saying he, quote, will continue to support our state's efforts to fight back against those who wish to force harmful gender transition procedures on our children. And while most of this law went into effect with the governor's signature in May, the ban on minors from undergoing gender transition procedures won't go into effect until next January. This lawsuit, of course, seeks to keep it from ever kicking in. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.